Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me one quick favor, see that little black subscribe button on the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, hit that little black subscribe button. Really does help this channel grow, my audience grow, and I appreciate it more than you know. Also, quick thank you to our presenting sponsor, Betfred Sportsbook and the Betfred Sportsbook app. Bet $50 on any game. Get up to $1,111 in free bets courtesy of the Betfred Sportsbook. Thank you again. Now, here's the video that you came here for. And I do want to talk a little bit about a topic that we have discussed here on the Aaron Torres pod quite a bit over the last couple months, and that is conference realignment, specifically kind of what's going on with the Big 12 and the Pac-12, everything that we've already discussed here over really, again, the last couple of years, but more specifically the last couple months. And if you listen to Monday's show, we talked a lot about the fact, okay, Colorado is officially gone. Who's next? It looks like Arizona. Could that open the floodgates? Is the Big 12 going to go to 14? Are they going to go to 16? And what does it all mean for the Pac-12? We also talked, of course, about the fact that there really is only one thing that can hold the now 9 remaining schools together in the Pac-12. And that is a very nice TV contract, one that matches or exceeds the $31 million per year that the Big 12 is going to get. And basically giving all of the schools in the Pac-12 the same money that they would get if they would go to the Big 12. The problem is it's easier to find Bigfoot than any concrete deals on this Pac-12 TV deal, because as we've joked many times on this show, the messaging out of the Pac-12 offices seems to be, listen, just give us another week or two. Everything's okay. We got a deal that's going to make everybody happy. Yet nobody knows the network, the conference, the this, the that, the whatever. And so I bring it up because we finally appear to have some sort of clarification, as on Monday afternoon, Jason Scheer, who covers Arizona for 24/7 Sports, he was the first one that I saw that had this. All other outlets, The Athletic, etc., were able to put it out as well, that on Tuesday, we are finally going to get a TV contract presented to the 9 remaining Pac-12 school presidents and ADs. And so, as Jason put it, this is kind of George Kliavkoff, the Pac-12 commissioner. This is kind of his last stand. If he has any chance of holding these 9 schools together, he better do it Tuesday, because this thing is taking on water like the freaking Titanic right now. And it's about to sink to the bottom of the ocean if we don't figure it out. And so I guess the question becomes, it's Monday night now as I record. Some of you will listen Monday night into Tuesday, whatever. Will the Pac-12 put together a deal that satisfies their school presidents and their ADs? Let me just be blunt. I am not optimistic that it is going to happen. And bluntly, I think we lose at least one more Pac-12 school here soon, if not more. And so the question becomes, why? What makes me so confident that these schools will not be happy with whatever is presented to them on Tuesday morning? And I think it starts with bluntly, listen, this is my job, right? Cover college sports, podcast, writing, radio, whatever. I talk to people all the time. Talk to people, different corners of the country, whatever, administration level, coaches, whatever. I have yet to talk to one person that truly believes that the Pac-12 is going to be able to present something that is going to satisfy the 9 remaining schools. I have yet to talk to anybody that sees this coming. And so when you talk about a potential contract, what it really boils down to, it's obvious, right? But it's 2 things that nobody sees coming. First of all, the reason nobody has confidence, nobody knows who the mysterious TV partner is, right? We've talked about it a million times on this show, but the main 4 mainstream TV networks seem to be pretty much set, right? NBC has Notre Dame football and Big Ten football going forward. They have no inventory for the Pac-12. Oh, by the way, if you're a nerd for this TV stuff, what's going to follow the Big Ten games on Saturday nights? Saturday Night Live. That's going to be Saturday Night Live's lead-in. They don't have time for Washington versus Arizona State on NBC. CBS seems content to be that Big Ten game of the week in that 3:30 time slot with some Mountain West stuff mixed in on CBS Sports Network. ESPN and ABC are obviously very committed to the SEC and the ACC with the Big 12 as well. And Fox is the lead partner of the Big Ten with the Big 12, and they have some Mountain West games as well. So the main four TV partners certainly don't seem to be very interested. That obviously opens up the door for streaming services, but ultimately it comes down to two different variables to make the Pac-12 presidents happy with a potential streaming partner that probably aren't going to happen. One, this is a league that for years, thanks to the Pac-12 network, thanks to Larry Scott, thanks to late kickoff times, has struggled with exposure. Their games are just not in front of enough eyeballs. And so I don't know that a streaming partner is going to make the presidents happy if it's a primarily streaming service contract. Beyond that, and this is the important part. One, George Kliavkoff said, even after USC and UCLA left, that he believed that the Pac-12 was going to get numbers that exceed or meet what the Big 12 got at $31 million a year. So if it's not on mainstream TV, the bigger question becomes, one, it's about exposure, but two, can you just come up with the cold hard cash? Because again, this is why Colorado left. Colorado said, we have an offer. We can make $31 million in TV revenue starting in 2024. To quote Rod Tidwell, show me the money. And the Pac-12 couldn't. And I think Arizona now is essentially in the same spot. I don't know if Arizona officially has an offer from the Big 12, but they're in the on-deck circle. They're waiting to step to the plate, and they are doing everything they can to give the Pac-12 time, but Arizona's ready to move. And like I said on Monday's show, I think Arizona is doing its diligence, one, out of respect to ASU, the political savvy in that state. I think the powers that be would like to see those two schools stay together. But Arizona's like, we got to do what's best for Arizona, and we need numbers now because we got to make a decision. And so, one, I don't know who the partner is going to be. They got to find money to match the TV that the Big 12 is going to get. And here's the other part that I've been thinking about. This is what would concern me if I was a fan of any of these schools that is hoping that the Pac-12 stays together. And I don't know that many of the fan bases even care at this point if the Pac-12 stays together. But what would concern me is that this meeting on Tuesday runs completely counter to the messaging that George Kliavkoff, the Pac-12 commissioner, had at Pac-12 Media Day literally 10 days ago. Remember, Pac-12 Media Day, I'm recording on Monday the 31st. Pac-12 Media Day was Friday the 21st. What was George Kliavkoff's message then? Everyone calm down. The longer we wait, the better things are going to get. The more we wait, the better things are getting. The deal is getting better, but I have to have patience. Well, what happened in 10 days that all of a sudden he now has to have a meeting? Oh, I know. It's that he already lost a school and he's on the verge of losing another one. So if the schools had confidence that he was actually getting stuff done behind the scenes, now I know part of it is it's market economics. He can't put together a contract if there aren't partners that want to pay him. So it's not all on him. But 10 days ago, literally 10 days ago, he's preaching, be patient, it's coming. Now he's scrambling to get everybody together. What that means is he knows he is on the verge of losing at least one more school, if not more, and this whole thing completely falling apart. So I don't feel good that something is going to be presented. And here's the other variable that I'm sure other people have talked about, but it was something I was thinking about today. Here is what I was thinking about is like, okay, so this guy 10 days ago said, wait and be patient and everything's fine. Now on Tuesday, he's presenting a TV deal. What partner is going to commit to a league that they don't know who's playing in it? Like, that's the thing that stands out to me more than anything else is even if there was some miracle deal that we didn't know about 10 days ago, now Colorado's gone. And so what TV partner sees what's going on, sees Colorado leaving and says, you know what? You know who I want to commit to? That unstable nine over there, that unstable group over there with the leadership that can't get out of its own way. Like, imagine, I was trying to think of an analogy. I couldn't come up with anything good. But imagine you're about to close on a house. You're going to put your life savings into it. And then the realtor's like, yeah, by the way, you know that the yard, the acreage that I gave you, it's not totally accurate. And your two-car garage, I didn't mention this, but you might have to share it with a neighbor, but you might not. Like, you'd be like, what am I buying? Like, what is this? And that's what any TV partner has to be looking at the Pac-12 as right now. I'm going to commit hundreds of millions of dollars, and I can't even figure out who's staying and who's going. So I just don't think it's good. And I'll be blunt, like I hate that we are here, but the Pac-12 has nobody to blame but themselves. And I know I talked about this on Monday, but as I said on Monday's show, I just want to reiterate a couple things. One, Pac-12 has nobody to blame but itself, right? You know, I said this on Monday's show again, but everybody goes back to, you know, the Pac-12, they could have had Texas and Oklahoma back in 2011. It's like, yeah, I get it. That wasn't where the Pac-12 screwed up. The Pac-12 screwed up, as I said the other day, when they had a chance to kill the Big 12, to stick the knife in their heart when Texas and Oklahoma did leave the Big 12 for the SEC. And whether it was the commissioner unable to convince the school presidents that they need to take on 4 more teams, get to 16 teams, eliminate, take the Oklahoma States and the TCUs and the Kansas States of the world so that you can stick drive a stake through the heart of the Big 12. They had their chance, and whether the commissioner couldn't convince the school presidents or whether the commissioner couldn't figure out himself that this is something I have to do, that's where the failure is. And then I'll also say this, man, I don't root against any individual. I don't think the commissioner has handled this very well in terms of how he has publicly presented it, as I've said for weeks. You know, I get that there's only so much a commissioner could do if there's no deal to be made, but him going on the record at Pac-12 Media Day and saying, we're totally stable. We have, I think that the exact quote was, we have bigger fish to fry. All of our schools are saying, and he specifically said, we're not worried about the Big 12. This, while everybody knew that the Big 12 and Colorado, the Big 12 and Colorado got caught holding hands at the movie theater. They were making out in the back row, and we all saw it. And, oh, no, everything's fine. Nothing to worry about here. So listen, I could go on and on. I'm getting fired up. I'm making bad analogies, but I feel bad because, like, I have no skin in the game, but I want the Pac-12 to work because the Pac-12 is fun. Pac-12 After Dark is awesome. I love Oregon, Washington. I love Arizona basketball. I think the conference, if the 9 somehow stay together, that's still a really good football league. And you obviously have a bell cow in basketball that hopefully you would subsidize with San Diego State. So, don't know what else to say. The presidents and ADs will get a TV, they'll get the presentation on what the TV deal is on Tuesday morning. I just don't feel optimistic that it's going to be anything good for the Pac-12. And again, if that happens, I think Arizona is a ticking time bomb to go to the Big 12 next. Then who the heck knows what happens from there. If you enjoyed this video, do me a quick favor. Make sure to subscribe to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube channel. Also, new episodes of the Aaron Torres Pod every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Wednesday's show, we're going to be talking a lot about whatever happened at this Pac-12 meeting.